It all starts with Cleveland and their vantage point of the second pick in the quarterbacks. We know they need, if not 2 quarterbacks. If they don't like the quarterbacks in this draft, then your pool of teams that if you're going to entertain trading it changes. That's where the Minnesota comes in, because does Minnesota want to resign Sam Darnold? Then if you're Cleveland, you go, well, we want J.J. McCarthy, and you work out a trade in that regard. If you're Cleveland and you like one of these 2 young quarterbacks in the draft, a Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders, or maybe in the second round with like a Milroe, then maybe your pool of teams becomes a little bit bigger, and you go, well, Philadelphia, what are you willing to give us? Is Nolan Smith a part of it? Washington, what are you willing to give us? It all starts with Cleveland and where they believe their next move or 2 are quarterback-wise.
If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I don't trade Myles Garrett. To your point, he is too much of a generational talent. It automatically says we are restarting from scratch. Everything that we talked about with the Cleveland Browns has been because of this defense. And that defense, because Myles Garrett is over there, which again, okay, let's say you take that position, it becomes a straight bidding war because all 31 teams, it changes the face of their organization with Myles Garrett there.
Let me push back on you. If you're the Cleveland Browns and you don't want to try and trade Myles Garrett,
me too,
man.
What are you doing at quarterback?
You got to
then you're thinking,
that's always as someone who played there, that's been our question for years.
In a year where Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, they're probably going to have to win, right? So it's the nature of that league. Daniel Jones, you can't afford Sam Darnold. So then
you got to either go to, I mean, if we're going, and that's where the bidding war comes in, because who has a quarterback you can throw into that package? Yeah, J.J. McCarthy. Is it Hendon Hooker? Is it 2 first rounds? I think that literally everybody throws their name in this hat. And this is like a personal connection to me, because I was a part of the 1 in 15 team that got Myles Garrett there. I took those shots on the chin. You know,
you walked so he could run.
I walked so we can
Look at that
have these Myles Garrett jerseys in my son's closet. So there is a heart aspect to this that we don't typically get into in NFL Live.
No,
but
I like that.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Go Swag.
I mean, we can talk about the business element of it, but we also, like, the human element exists now. This man has went public saying he no longer wants to play for the Cleveland Browns. And that is absolutely the fly in the ointment. We saw Jalen Ramsey do this with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it was a hamstring, it was an ankle, it was a back, until they figured out what they would do as far as to trade him. I think it took a lot for Myles Garrett to say this. If you know him and you've been around him, it took a lot. He's a very commitment type of guy. Like, he's done, y'all. He's completely done with the Cleveland Browns in order for him to come out and make a staunch statement like this. So I don't think Andrew Berry and this organization has many options unless they just want to play bully ball and have Myles Garrett there disgruntled.
Yeah, and there's a ton of respect certainly in that front office for Myles Garrett and who he is. That's a reality here. He also had told us he met with them to try to figure out their future plan. He's gone through this and gone about it the right way. We'll keep an eye.